What's up, everybody? I wanted to jump on quick and explain what this week's episode is about. I know I disappeared for a little bit. No excuses. I just don't want to put out content unless I'm called to put out content, right? Uh, if I'm forced to come up with something every week, and because of that pressure, uh, it's not up to my standard. It's not anything anybody's interested in. It's just talking without saying anything. I'm not really interested in doing it. However, it's summer. I've The schedule around the house is getting adjusted. It's full fledged baseball, softball. It's mowing. It's there's a lot of stuff going on, and just trying to carve out an hour or two where I can talk peacefully without interruption is not easy, but doable. And I've got some things coming. Just be patient. The one thing I want to talk about this episode is I the hard part for me is when I want to talk to somebody is getting in touch with them in person. I think it's a much better conversation. I think we can feed off each other's body language. I think we can it's just better conversation. But that being said, it does come sometimes with a challenge when, if you have to 2 hours of drive time in one day. Right now with all baseball and softball going on is I just don't have that kind of time if I want to have a really, really good conversation. I can fit 20, 30, 45 minutes around the house just to spitball some stuff by myself for you guys. That's not a problem. It's getting and sitting down with somebody and having a conversation. One of the conversations I want to have this month is back with Dustin. A year ago, him and I sat down and we talked about our basically our mental health. Um, June being Men's Mental Health Month, I want to sit back down with Dustin and I want to have another conversation about where we are now in our mental health process. So, for those that don't know, uh, Dustin has gotten some treatment in the past, and I myself, for 8 months since I spoke with Dustin last, um, put myself into some therapy treatment, and I want to discuss my experience with that and how it went and what I think I got from it, and maybe what I didn't get from it, and kind of the things I learned about myself, and then I want to catch up with Dustin and see where he's at with his mental health. Both in good places. Don't get me wrong. This is not going to be a tragic woe is me story. Both doing well, but I want to explain to everybody kind of how the process works if they're on the fence about doing it, and maybe what they can learn about themselves and maybe who they can go to. And I think it'll be a good episode. But to explain this one, in order to do it, I wanted to reach out to him remotely, kind of like what I did with Hannah. And I know that the Hannah's episode was terrible, not because of her, she's a wonderful person, but because of the audio issues. So I wanted to field test it. So I just sent Dustin a quick email with a link. He jumped on like a Teams meeting. We shot the shit for 20 minutes or so, and we found out that we had a pretty good um, audio. There was a few sentences that were echoey, and I just removed them. But the whole conversation as a whole, I felt was pretty good. Now, it was just us shooting the shit, and we were talking about gratitude, and we talked a little bit about my ENA award, and we touched a little bit about the imposter syndrome. We talked about uh, the nursing career and field and why there's a nursing shortage and what has happened to all the nurses. We talk about helicopters, models of helicopters, 409s, 429s, 135s, 145s, all that kind of stuff. Um, we talk about baseball and softball, some kid stuff. It was just a really good, like it was a phone call to a friend basically, and it was just a really good conversation. I felt like so. I thought in order to bridge us from where I am now to where Dustin and I are going to go with our conversation, I'm going to publish it and have you guys listen to kind of some of those things, some interesting perspectives. He works at a facility where there's nursing programs and EMS programs and all kinds of stuff. And obviously, he works for an air medical transport service, and we talk a little bit about that. Uh, we talk about being humble, and there's a couple of experiences that we both share where um, our perspective on not wanting the attention on us, but sometimes we get the attention because of just what we do for a living and how that affects us. Really good conversation because he's a good dude and he's easy to it's just an easy conversation to have. So we're gonna do that. He's gonna come over to my house. I'm gonna have surgery on Wednesday. This will come out on Monday. On Wednesday, I'll be under the knife getting my new hip joint, and then Friday he's gonna come over to the house because allegedly I won't be able to drive for a couple days. Um, and we're gonna talk. And so he was nice enough to come to my house, and I don't have to go to him, and I super appreciative of that. I also have in the works a show. We're going to talk about. I got to visit with an old friend of mine from way back, and also one of those guys that you could sit down and talk to for hours. Easy guy to talk to. Off the cuff, we were talking about show episodes and topics and things, and he said just in casual passing, he said, "Yeah, you could do one like on complacency or something." And I thought, well, that must be weighing on his heart a little bit if he just threw that out there. So I'm going to talk about the difference between complacency and contentment, and one is good and one is bad, and how that impacts us at our job and how that impacts us here at home. And I think that that's going to be a really good episode if I can articulate my points correctly. So I'm going to work on that too. Just wanted to introduce this episode real quick. I don't do that very often, but I think it's important to know that we are just shooting the breeze about some cool things that happened to us and some cool things that are going to happen to us as a way to field test this audio system. Unfortunately, 80% of it was reliable, but 20% of it had an echo, and we're just not willing to gamble with a topic as important as mental health that the whole episode won't turn out well. So we're going to get together. We're going to talk on my little microphones that Mike Schultz told me to get, where I've never had a problem with any audio. And we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about it because we think that that is important enough to us that we don't have to kind of roll the dice on whether or not this is going to turn out. And people turn away from the episode because it's such an important episode. So that's all I got to say for now. There'll be much more to say in the future. This is really a cool time of year to talk and to get caught up on things and to kind of reevaluate where we are. So I promise more shows are coming. I haven't disappeared quite yet. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Work hard, be kind. Bye. This will go out with no video, like because I don't pay, even though I can see you and you can see me. I don't think it goes out with any video because I don't pay for the super dickhead version.
Okay. What was this award you got? This nursing excellence something award. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I think it's a bigger deal than what I think it is. Like, and it's nice. It was a nice gesture. I didn't even know that it existed, really. The Emergency Nurses Association, I don't know what that is or how big it is, but our state has one, obviously. And they gave out 5 awards, and I don't know if that's annually, the same 5 awards annually, or if this was anything specific, but you have to be nominated, and it's a blind nomination, which means they write why. I think the person who nominated me had to write basically an essay that said why, and then it's blind. So they leave all of my identification out of it. So they don't. What's that?
Including credentials.
I believe that's true. Yes. So that they pick it based on merit and not. Oh, I know this guy. Let's give it right. And so I have no idea. Number one, I didn't know that it was happening until they had to tell me because I had to be there, obviously. And number two, I don't know what kind of competition I was up against or what, but it's a pretty humbling deal. Like I tried to foo it off as a oh gosh type of thing, but it's nice. So don't get me wrong. I think that we've said this before where I don't need any accolades, man. I just need to do my job, right? Like, how many times have we said that or heard that or whatever? But I don't really give a shit who you are. It's nice to be it's nice, right? When people say good job and people recognize you for doing good things, like it feels good.
I mean, yeah, whether you're an internally motivated person or external motivation, like validation is present in both of those things.
Yes.
You got to feel like what you're doing is worth your effort.
Yes. And part of me said, like, I even asked if this was like, did you do this to punk me? Because I don't like to be in front of like people. Like, I also make a lot of jokes at the nurse's expense, right?
Yeah.
Like, is this your way of kind of getting it back to me type of thing? And in a nice positive way, right? Like this, it's not like this wasn't a mean thing. Like, even if it was a joke, it wasn't a mean joke. It's a funny thing, right? And so I kind of accused him of that a little bit too, which is kind of a jerk move on my end, right? But goes back to that imposter syndrome thing, right? Like, I'm not deserving probably any more than anybody else. Um, there's probably people out there in our profession that work way harder than I do, who are super smart, way smarter than me. Um, if the podcast had anything to do with it, it's just that I had an idea that I actually brought to life.
Yeah. I think that's interesting that you're talking about this. This last week, I got a chance to talk to a guy that we flew, had a cardiac arrest in fire, hospital, employees, all had this weird. Oh, there's an echo. I just caught an echo.
Yeah, but maybe just based on volume, but it's not every word. You know what I mean?
So, yeah. So this dude, I happened to be in the ICU the next day. We flew him from the airport to Des Moines. Literally all I did was a push dose Epidose and started him on Levo because he was like tiptoeing towards PEA again. You know how short it is from Des Moines. It's like 9 minutes. Sure. There was nothing objectively that I could say like I did it, right?
Right.
The very fact that somebody in employee was willing to see a person in need, jump on their chest with whatever degree of training that they had.
Yeah.
That was the thing that made the difference, right?
Correct.
So I happened to be in the ICU the next day checking on him. His family comes in and sees me there, and they start asking questions, and I tell them, yeah, I was actually the one that flew him in. So then I became the focus point for this family. They wanted to thank me for being the hero.
Yes.
And so they've been reaching out and they've been very gracious and thankful and all these things and like just pouring out all this gratitude towards me. I'm like, guys, you don't understand, right?
Yeah, right. We were like the fifth link in this chain.
But that piece is so important to not forget is they don't understand. They just want to see somebody to say thank you, right? And so like it's all these things that they're doing make me uncomfortable. They wanted to meet and, me to come see him in the hospital last week. He had like triple bypass, I think. And so he was recovering. So like I walk in the room and I had some lifelike shit with me and like they were super teary eyed. It was a super cool experience.
Yes.
But I had to wrap my head around, like, even in this weird way, I was making this about me. It's not about me, it's about them. They want somebody to help them kind of wrap this thing up.
You are a symbol.
I'm a symbol, but I'm there for them. Like I'm there for the family to express their gratitude to somebody because they could, I suppose, go to and find that kid. They could go to Boiling Fire and talk to Fire County Ambulance, but like it's the focus. It's a high flashy version of healthcare, so that is part of it. But like I just happened to be there, and so I just needed to get right with letting them pour out all this stuff on me because it's part of their healing. It's part of their ability to round this whole process out. So I say that to say that the next thing, like your award is just as much about somebody wanting you to know how much they care about you and they see the things that you're doing. So you can feel like an imposter. You can feel like these things are.
It's hard to wrap your head around, man. Like it's hard. Right. I don't know. I'm not good at it. You're probably not good at it. No. It's the old just doing my job, ma'am. Right? Well, there was an echo.
Yeah, there's a couple of those. But even saying that, like that I feel like comes up short of acknowledging people want to make other people see that they see you. whoever nominated you for that, it was important enough for them to take the time out of their day. So like when you kind of respond in that instinctive way of like, I'm just doing my job. It's maybe important for speaking to me now to say to that person who wants to say, thank you for being a hero. And I'm like, I'm not a hero. Like, it's okay to say, you know what? I'm glad I was there for you. So like when these people give you that award, you know what? I'm glad that you thought so much of me. Thank you for, putting me up there for consideration.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice, man. Like I'm echoing real bad right now.
Yeah.
Let me do this. So my echo cancellation. Now I don't hear it, man. Like this is weird. I don't hear it now. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, it was real. It's nice. I had the same kind of thing happen a long time ago. Same exact scenario. We kept in touch for a very, very long time. Had a good outcome. Really appreciative. But the guy's workplace saved his life. They had a emergency management plan. They had AEDs. They had somebody willing to pump some chest. They had brought an AED to the thing. Like EMS showed up, did their thing. Like I was so late to the game, right? Like at the end of it, but it's nice. I get it. So you have a nursing program, obviously. Are your nursing classes full? Okay. So when people say we need nurses, where are all the nurses at now? Like there seems to be a big gap between when you and I showed up in this business to where we are now, where we've lost. I get the baby boomers have retired and COVID, uh, th- had its effect. But everybody that I know that used to work in emergency nursing or critical care nursing took other jobs at those facilities, Iowa Ortho, the dermatology clinic, the surgery centers, and things like that. But what you're saying is that these people are now still short-staffed on nurses. Why? Can we pinpoint how that is? Why that is?
There's a lot to that. I sat in a town hall meeting and I forget what they call it, but it was like a meeting of the minds. So they had like CEOs of healthcare, they had state legislative bodies, they had private practice physicians and county hospital chief financial officers to discuss this very thing. And something I've seen from my perspective that is interesting, maybe depending on how you think about it, I guess, when we go through all these graduation painting ceremonies, students talk about what they're going to go do next. So whether you're talking about a CNA graduate in high school that's going to go into nursing or a nursing person that's getting ready to graduate, we are seeing people say that they are specifically looking for a travel nurse job. Like this generation of people are unattached. They understand that this life work balance thing looks very different for them than it did for the previous generation. And there's nothing keeping them here in our state. Economically, politically, these things, if I can, as a new grad nurse, 20 years old, you're going to tell me you'll pay me $6,000 a week to go work in Colorado Springs, where I have instant access to some of the most beautiful scenery on the planet, tons of outdoor activities, world-class entertainment. Why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
Cost of living, people said, why aren't people living, staying in Iowa? It's cheap to live here. It's not cheap to live here anymore. Being from St. Louis, we go down there every summer, my family. Lynn's was looking up nursing jobs, and she was like, I would start out making $6 an hour more than I do now, having worked for Mercy for 4 years. Just right out of the gate, making more money. I was like, yeah, but cost of living's got to be higher. I look at property tax rates, it's lower in Missouri, right? You look at overall percentage cost of living, and it's lower or equal, whether you shotgun any direction. You go up to Minneapolis, you go down to St. Louis, you go over to Chicago. These are major hubs with tons of opportunities, and used to feel unattainable if you wanted to live in the Twin Cities. Super, super expensive. You never be able to afford it. You can't afford it. You're going to pay you more. Cost of living is the same. So there's not a thing that is anchoring people into our state. We're graduating people at an equal rate compared to our neighbors that touch us on the borders. But the attrition rate, if you think about it that way, from our state to others, we're losing more people than our neighbors. More people are staying in those other states than are staying in Iowa.
Man, that's information that I didn't even. We see it firsthand in our ERs. That we're shorthanded, short-staffed. One of the unforeseen, I think, byproducts of that is you don't really get people with buy-in into your facility then, right? Like, so if you get a lot of contract people, whether it's anesthesiologists or nurses or whatever, there's no buy-in. There's no right loyalty type of thing. They're like, well, listen, this sucks, but it's going to suck for only 6 weeks and then I'm out. So I don't have to worry about what's going on here. Where when we first came in, everybody that worked at my hospital was from the metro, and they built a. I hate using the word family because I think it's bullshit to consider your workplace family, and I think it's a word that people throw around in order to get people to do more for less money when you feel like you belong to something, right? Because how many people did we ever know that said, "Man, I would get another job tomorrow if it wasn't for the people I worked with"? Well, they count on that a little bit to make right. And so, but now there isn't that. Nobody knows anybody. You all meet somebody in the first day of your contract, and you don't really develop relationships. There's no I'm going to pull for you if you pull for me type of thing, and then in 6 weeks they're out. So I think one of the unforeseen things in that whole thing is that we haven't built any networks, we haven't built any loyalty, and we certainly don't build longevity with that. But money talks, man.
Money talks, and I think what the thing you're describing there is like there's no one building the team, right?
No.
There's no one getting people to collectively put their talents towards a common shared goal, and being willing to sacrifice a little bit to make sure that the end result, everybody gets to, get a chance to go to state, right? You think about professional all the way down to, your kid who was just sounds like getting ready to go play some baseball, right? Like, how do you convince that stud player that putting out a bunch of effort is worth it for more than just making sure they get noticed by the scouts, right? That the goal isn't for that one person, that stud player, to make pro. Their shared goal is to win their division, right? To win their conference, to make sure that the team gets to excel to the next bracket, right? And that's putting aside ego, that's putting aside self-interest. Those are some of those same tenets that aren't maybe getting the focus. Like you were saying, there's pockets of teams, but those are silos that don't have the shared goals, shared visions, shared sentiment of buy-in and those things.
Yeah, good points. I really wish one of the other, not that we're going to go into this real deep dive, the problems in healthcare, but one of the things I just realized in the last couple of months is my 18-year-old daughter, okay, is going to go to college in Minnesota. She could get a degree in healthcare administration, right? And in 4 years come out with that degree, having never worked in healthcare. And so now these people occupy the administrative floors of these hospitals. And based on what? The fact that they learn some sort of algorithm or metric or patient satisfaction score or something in academia, and now they're trying to apply it in the real world. And so they're making policy for patient turnover in level 1 trauma centers, right? And you're like, wait a minute, what? I don't understand. And it seems like the one basic thing, and I hope, and I know that I have people all over that listen to this, and some of them work for hospitals, and but they have never asked me the question directly, and I'm going to say it right here. I'm going to save healthcare right now. Okay, here's the answer to the crisis: pay them well, treat them nice, and give them good benefits. Make it the best place to work, whether it's my house or your house. Make it the best place to work. Make it so hard to get a job that there's a wait list there because everybody loves to work there, right? You are the best of the best because money talks. If you pay me, I will come. And if you treat me good, I'll stay. If you give me good benefits for me and my family, I've got no reason to travel. I'm right here. Build it from the foundation up. It starts with the hourly wage work. And it doesn't seem like any business model in healthcare fits that.
Do you want to try to do it in person? I mean, you want to get this out in June.
Yeah, I think I do. I don't think that this is gonna. We're 20 minutes into this recording, and see now my echo just went away.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth the risk, honestly.
Yeah, you're probably not. You're probably right. I mean, I have headphones too. I don't know what that's gonna do.
I know that if we have the microphone thing and we can find time to carve out an hour to be in the same room.
My microphone works great. This little thing that I got, these little Hootises, these whatnots. You see those?
Yeah.
This is not what we had when you and I first met. Of course, it's been a year ago already. These are great. They pick up great. There's no cancellation. There's no echo. It's wonderful. So we might just have to pull out a day where we can get together.
When are you having surgery?
I'm going to play this back though and maybe publish this part because this was kind of good. Even though we're not talking about mental health, this is pretty good. Yeah, sure. Next Wednesday, I'm having surgery Wednesday.
Okay.
So, it's the drive time that gets you. It's an hour on each end to come to Ankeny, which is totally fine. I could have done it today, but all the Tuesdays games got rained out and they moved them to today.
Oh, sure.
So I'm gonna go. Not that all the girls left at 1:30 because so Carson and Kennedy both play school softball. Obviously, Lindsay's the coach, and then Kale plays baseball. So they're in two different places tonight. So I had to pick between the two of them, and I don't have to leave. But
what are you having surgery?
What's that?
What are you having surgery on?
What am I having surgery on?
What are you doing?
I'm getting a hip joint replacement.
Oh, that's right.
My right hip.
Boy.
What's that?
What's that recovery like?
Way easier than it ever used to be. I'll walk out of that place. No, I don't even get intubated, man. They gave me a spinal and a propofol nap. Swap my joint out. Takes about 45 minutes. I'll be home by noon. I'll be sitting at the softball game that night.
So you're not losing bone. You're not having replacements in the sense of like bone replacement. They're just putting.
So they're gonna dislocate my hip.
Yeah.
They're gonna clean out the socket, and then they're gonna put a cap inside the socket. So here's my ball joint. And here's the cap. They're gonna waller this out, and then they'll put a silicone cap in it, and then they'll cut my femur joint off, and then they beat. It's like on this spike, and they beat this piece of metal with a ball on it.
No, that's actually cutting part of your femur off and replacing that entire end.
Yeah. So they hack that off. They hack your ball off. They drive a spike into your bone marrow, into the canal of your bone until it's tight. And then it's got a new ball on it, and then it fits on that new cap.
And you're going to be awake for this?
No, I think I'm going to be asleep, but I'm not intubated. So, but anyway, it's outpatient now. I'll be home by noon. The rehab, I might regret saying this out loud in case there's some PTs that listen, but I don't think so. Like during COVID, they canceled all the physical therapy. So that just tells me I don't need physical therapy.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the doctors will tell you just walk 10,000 steps a day. And I've got some exercises to do. The recovery, I think for office people is 4 weeks. My ortho is probably not going to let me go back for 6 to 8 just because, everybody, when you tell them what they do, Dustin, they're like, oh, well, you lift stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but it's like there. It's not like what we used to do where it was from the ground up.
Up a flight of stairs or down. Yeah, I get it.
Right. Yeah. So I could easily go back inside 6 weeks. I don't think he'll let me go back for probably 6 to 8, even though I could be ready in 4.
Yeah. So you got enough PTO. This isn't going to hurt you too bad, right? You're just going to take some well-earned time off.
Yeah. I get part of it's FMLA, so short-term disability. So I get 60% of my salary, and then I supplement the other 40% with PTO. So when I get back, I'll still have some time off. And I keep my PTO maxed for this reason. If I ever need it for anything, like I know they want corporate America wants you to keep that, down around 170 because they have to keep the cash on hand. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna keep it all. I earned it.
Problem. Yeah, that's not your problem.
Right. Like I earned it. It's mine. If you want me to cap out at 170, give me 170.
Right.
So,
Well,
yeah, it'll be target date is to go back August 3rd. That's 8 weeks. I would like to get back sooner only because of I don't need to be off that long, you know. But we'll see.
so I'm going camping the 19th through the 27th. I mean, I could drive down to Adel. I don't think I'm doing shit on the 13th. If I came to your house, or is that too soon after your surgery? You're gonna feel like sitting down and talking. You all hopped up on goofballs and not make any sense.
Might make it real cool.
I mean, figure it out, I suppose. See what
You know, so my house will be empty. This is the thing about being married to a ball coach. Like, there's no good day to have a surgery. And my ortho is like, he's like, I do these every Wednesday and every other Friday. So when you look at the schedule, you're like, there's no good day to do it. I just threw a dart basically at the 11th, right? If I had to do it over again, I'd have done it 2 weeks ago. But anyway, so with Lindsay's schedule, there's softball every night. She's actually leaving that weekend to go on a road trip with her softball team. And so I'll be hanging out by myself. If you want to come down on Friday or Saturday, it doesn't make a difference.
What time on Friday? I can bounce out of here probably after lunch. Bounce out of campus.
Oh, dude, whenever. I'll be home. Everybody be gone. I don't think I have anything. Even if Carson's home with me and Kale will be home, I'll have nothing that day, man.
Yeah. All right.
So you pick it, and we'll go from there. I think between this little 27-minute recording, I'm going to do a show. I should be doing it right now, actually, but I wanted to see if this will work. Of the difference between contentment and complacency. And I don't hear any echo now. I haven't heard an echo for a long time, so whatever. I think we should go with what I know works, and that's my phone and these microphones.
Yeah. I might call it, I'll be to you by 1:30-ish, 2 o'clock, somewhere in there.
Cool. Well, good. We'll kick it old school. I don't know how long it's been since you've been back in Adel. How long?
In Adel or through Adel, I suppose, are two different things. But Lindsay's sister lives in DeSoto, so sometimes we take the back way from Grimes and just shoot down 169. So it's changed a shit ton. I mean,
I really like that drive. If I have to go to you or Johnston, I really like that. I really like going through Dallas Center and going through Grimes versus Hickman and Waukee and up and any of that crap. Like it's awful.
Waukee's like anything but worse. Like,
yeah, and to make it worse, they added a stoplight. So now it's so I'll either go down to DeSoto and take the interstate around, or I'll go up through. And I really like the Dallas Center through Grimes.
Yeah,
really easy drive.
I feel like Waukee got a hell of a deal on stoplights. They were just putting them everywhere.
Here's a fun fact: DeSoto's got more than Adel does right now. Stoplights. Figure that out, buddy.
That is a fun fact. You're right.
That's a fun fact. So yeah, you want to do that? I'll do it, man. If you want to come out, I'll let you. We'll be post surgery. I'll be hopped up on Mountain Dew and whatnot.
Yeah, I'll bring you some icy hot or something. You know.
Yeah, I don't know how I could apply that, Dustin.
That's not my problem.
Maybe on the outside of my hip, but it probably shouldn't go on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool, man. You got anything else going on? I'm glad we got to talk. I'm sorry it's been so long, but it is what it is.
We're busy dudes. Like, I keep up on your podcast. See what you're doing based on some of that stuff.
Well, it's terrible that I go on a hot streak where I have like 3 or 4 shows and I put them out in 3 or 4 weeks, and then all of a sudden nobody hears from me in 3 weeks, and they're like, "Are you still?" Yeah, but I don't want to put out shit just for the sake of putting out stuff.
I agree.
I got to be called to do something, otherwise it just
doesn't. Did you hear Lifelight is a 429 program now?
I haven't heard officially, but if that's true, congratulations. You heard it here first, folks, on the Shift Change podcast. Is that?
I mean, I guess they did announce it, I suppose. So it's probably it's not trade secret, but
they did announce it to who? To you?
Exactly. It's like, hey, Dustin, don't tell anybody. And I was like, hey, you know what I'm going to do is go on a podcast.
Yeah, sure. That's good for you guys. I Congratulations. They're wonderful machines. You're going to have to come up with a new way to be out of service, though, because they're fairly maintenance free.
This is what I hear. I'm only
Start,
PRN.
starters and tail rotor bearings, starters and shear bearings is about the only thing you got to worry about.
I know. This 135, 145 legacy has not been.
You guys, the 145 did not treat you guys good. You did not do well by that. And I know that there's other programs that probably have, for whatever reason. Maybe you guys got a lemon. I don't know. But that aircraft did not suit you. And how long have you had it?
I don't know. I honestly don't know when it went in service.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But even some of these 135s, they're starting to get a little bit princessy with some of the stuff that is going wrong with them. I don't get it.
Well, in all fairness, too, I don't know how often, some of those 135s got a lot of hours on them, man.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean,
like a lot of hours on them, and I don't know how fast you turn over, new aircrafts or old aircrafts, but there's a lot of old 135s out there.
I don't know how we can get a 135 spare that spent, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks in Wisconsin getting something done, I assume. And it comes back and it's out of service the next day.
No,
and then how does that happen? It just came back from the people that were supposed to have it. I don't understand.
Well, I think I don't know either, but as a guy that works across the street and gets to see this firsthand, we wonder the same thing. But
yeah.
at the same time, I don't know. Like aircrafts, they're delicate for being pretty cool machines and getting to do a lot of cool stuff. They seem to be pretty delicate.
I'm not trying to end up on a plaque somewhere, right? I get it. Keep me safe. I want to go home, but
for sure.
At the same time, I don't know. This almost tips the scales towards is this thing actually safe to fly in after it just spent 2 weeks in Wisconsin, comes here and it's broke? What happened?
Well, right, it's almost totally restored.
It should be, but then if it's not working, right? And I trust when you said that's good to go, if it comes back and it's already broken,
yeah. It raises some red flags, man. Somebody should ask some questions, and that's cool. You guys are really like those helicopters, man. They're cool machines.
I learned that they said that black paint is very heavy. I thought they were kidding, but they were serious. They're gonna look at potentially changing the way that the paint scheme on the Life Flight rigs look to minimize the black paint.
Isn't that funny? I wonder if the base paint color is a lighter color, and so ours are all wrapped. And so when we changed from the black helicopters that everybody loved to the white and green ones that nobody likes at all, it was a wrap, so it added weight to our aircraft and our airframe. So that's one thing that you guys will have to get used to managing is payloads. It's a game changer. It changes what you can do. Unfortunately, and not for the better. I think that's the only, as far as the only real issue you guys will see differently is the fact that you guys got to do a lot of math. Some patients you just can't take now.
I mean, not me, right? I don't have to do any math.
No, not you. Pilot's gonna have to do some pilot math.
Okay, that's fine. That's what they get paid for.
Yeah, you guys might even. I don't know if you have now, but do you guys have a weight a weight limit?
I'm sure there is. There's probably something, right? Something written down somewhere.
Everybody's got to. So ours is 225. Every crew member's got to weigh less than 225, and so it's even a challenge to take something out of our house to the U if we're sitting on a lot of fuel and we have a heavy crew. That leaves you with a very I hate to say it, man, but in Iowa, we're a larger population, so that doesn't leave us a lot of wiggle room. So there either has to be a fuel burn that goes on. Obviously, it limits your ability to take passengers, so parents. But as that being said, that the trade-off is very low maintenance, super fast, IFR capabilities, the redundancy in your engines, in your generators, transmissions. You have a ton of resources in Iowa now because of the U has 429 mechanics. We have 429 mechanics. All of our 4 bases do. hopefully that increases the ability to get a spare.
Well, we just bought a 429 base, right? Wasn't Siouxland set a 429 base?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, however that turns into whatever, hopefully it increases the opportunity to get a spare aircraft for all of us now. I don't know. Do you guys have like a date?
No, they said there's two. Something about there's two that they're already kind of eyeballing. The third one they don't know when, but they're going to transition each base one at a time. Train up the pilots first, then train up the crew, and then transition the base. So
Yeah, good. Well, listen, you guys will like it. I love ours. I don't know. I know a 407. I briefly knew the 222, and I knew the 407, and I obviously have 429, and it's an amazing machine.
yeah, I'm looking forward to just being in service more frequently.
Us too, man. All right, I'll let you get back to work. I'm going to listen to this back and see if the echo annoys me enough to not put some clips out or to put something out, and then let's do when we do the Friday show. Let's have where we're at in our mental health.
Yeah.
Whether that's
Friday the 13th, that'll be fun.
What's Friday the 13th? You say?
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about mental health. Yeah, whatever. I can't figure out a better day to do it.
I'll have to go around.
2 days post hip surgery. Yeah, listen, I think so. We better do it right and make sure that we can hear each other. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. If anything changes, let me know. And then if not, thanks for jumping on real quick to fix this thing. And then I'll catch up with you.
Take care, buddy. Have a good. I hope the surgery goes well.
All right, man. Thanks. I'll be in touch.
Okay.
All right. See you, man. Hey guys, thanks again for listening to another episode of the Shift Change Podcast. I need to ask if you would leave a rating. I think that it helps people who are new to the podcast find it quicker. It doesn't do me any good, but it does help other people that are looking for the Shift Change Podcast on Spotify or Apple. It just comes up quicker the more ratings that you give it. Whether you give it a 2 or a 5, it doesn't make a difference. It just helps other people. If you need to get a hold of me, contact me via my email, the show email, which is talkshiftchange@gmail.com. Or you can message me on Instagram at talk.shiftchange. At talk.shiftchange on Instagram. As always, thanks for listening. I could not have imagined how well this podcast has been received. So, as always, I appreciate it. Work hard, be kind.